That's right, you are rocking with the best. Game Time is the program. Ro Parrish is your host. Jet Terry is on the runway and will arrive later in the program. You are merely 4 days from witnessing the NBA Finals. So over the next 30 minutes, we will proceed to give you what you need on all things pertaining to We the North and strength in numbers. Warriors insider Mark Medina has the latest on the Dubs, including an update on their 2 injured All-Stars. And we check in with the biggest Raptors superfan who is always courtside. Now, just in case you didn't know, Kevin Durant is officially listed as out for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. He's been out since the second round where they played Houston, and he has not returned, so officially listed as out. Steve Kerr spoke earlier about Easy Money Sniper and also gave us an update on Boogie.
If this were the regular season, this would be simple. Put him back in the starting lineup and give him his minutes and let him work his way back in, find his rhythm, and it'd be an easy one. But we're going into Game 1 of the Finals, so he's scrimmaged twice. He's working on his conditioning. The good news is his body feels good, his quad feels good, but he's working his way back into shape and into rhythm.
Mark Medina, Warriors beat writer for the Mercury News, joins us from Toronto. Starting with Kevin Durant, officially listed as out for Game 1. Boogie Cousins listed as questionable. So what is the latest on those two, starting with Boogie?
Well, as far as DeMarcus Cousins goes, he's been able to do on-court work for the past week, practicing with the team. He's done 2 full-court scrimmages. But the reality is DeMarcus has missed ever since Game 2 of the first-round series against the Clippers, and his conditioning needs a lot of work. I know just my own eye test, seeing him in parts of the scrimmage today, it's very apparent that, he's struggling with that and getting up and down the floor. So I think the Warriors are just cognizant that unlike how it was in the regular season when he was coming back from the Achilles tendon, it's not one of those things that they can just gradually throw him in there and increase his workload. This is the NBA Finals we're talking about. And so here I think the Warriors are trying to be fair to the idea that obviously DeMarcus is a proven all-star and he is their best center on the team, but they also want to go with just who's fully healthy and in rhythm. So I think what you're going to see with this rotation spot is just going to be very fluid. Where, you'll see a combination of maybe Draymond Green, Andrew Bogut, Kevon Looney, Jordan Bell, maybe even Jonas Jerebko at center, and obviously if DeMarcus can, continue to make progress with his conditioning, he'll be there. But it seems like that'll really be determined just kind of on a case-by-case basis, depending on the matchups and how everyone else is playing.
So KD calls Steph the system. Now, you dug deep in your piece that's pinned on Twitter. So Steph's leadership through it all, the situation between Draymond and KD being the smoother over for that situation, welcoming Boogie in. Kerr even compares him to Tim Duncan. Speak a little bit on his leadership so far this season.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question because I think, his value for the Warriors is obviously pretty well established. Like, he was one of the best shooters of all time, and he has all those qualities that you outlined that make him a good leader. But I in that piece that you're referencing, Draymond Green was saying, well, he's done all the things that we're familiar with, but there's been a lot of extra stuff this year, and one of the extra things involves Draymond and the argument that he had with Kevin Durant. And after that, Steph was very instrumental in getting the two guys to coexist, even though that they, mended fences by having some private conversations. He was the guy that kind of helped bridge the gap where, he talked with them individually, he talked with the front office and the coaching staff, and it was a real feeling that, that example kind of epitomized how he tries to, bring a lot of stability to the organization because he doesn't politic or pick favorites or anything. He's really about trying to establish purity of what's best for the team and making everyone feel empowered. So I think that you could argue that as impressive as he is as a scorer and a shooter, he's a lot more valuable for what he's done with just bringing everyone together.
Well, thank you for bringing it all together as far as things go for the Warriors. That is Mark D. Medina on social media. Make sure you follow him. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
So, Steph Curry has been balling out of control. You see the numbers on the screen. Once again, video game-like. We've seen that in the past in the playoffs. This is all without Kevin Durant in the lineup. The field goal percentage, three-point percentage is just absolutely ridiculous. And now, someone who knows all about playing well on the biggest stage, whether it be in college or the pro game, 2011 world champion Jason the Jet Terry joins the show. Glad to see you. As always, we've got to talk this ball. Golden State figuring it out, playing without KD. And a lot of it's been Steph and Draymond working together with the two-man game. Speak on it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When they first assembled this team, this is how they were constructed. Steph Curry on the ball, off the ball, but putting him in actions with Draymond, whether it was high screening rolls or Draymond facilitating in transition. As you can see here, you got Steph Curry with the ball, probing, doesn't find what he likes. He'll probe again, kicks it out. Now it's constant movement, player movement, ball movement. Draymond moved the ball, set a screen. Curry denied, backdoor out the corner, not open, keeps moving, comes off another screen, pump fake, draws, and he looks at the bench. Now what I like here is Draymond is in the quarterback position, right here at the high post area. You have, again, top lock denied, backdoor, great chemistry between Draymond and Curry. Late game situation, late in the fourth quarter. Put Draymond in an action, screening on Steph Curry. Ball screen happens. Steph Curry engages two, finds Draymond at the rim for an easy bucket.
So watching this right here has just been amazing. We're going to be able to see that again as they take on Toronto in the NBA Finals. Looking forward to seeing these two teams match up. But we got more, especially on that Toronto team. That is the third-time all-time leading scorer in Raptors playoff history. Can he deliver a trophy? We hear from the Raptors' #1 superfan, and it might not be who you think it is. Stick around. More Game Time. The Raptors advancing to the finals, and you know, everybody's been talking about Drake, and shouts out to Muhammad who put this tweet out here. When you think of the Raptors, you think about this guy on the screen being the biggest fan, but he's not. And in Toronto, they love Drake, but there's someone else who symbolizes everything about Toronto and Canada. So, without further ado, this man that we're about to show on your screen that's attended every Raptors game since 1995. He's never missed a Raptors home game in 20-plus seasons. So let's welcome, for your viewing pleasure, Nav Bhatia, a.k.a. Superfan Nav. So there are so many pro sports in Toronto. You have baseball, you have the CFL. What made you want to go and attend the Raptors games?
Well, first of all, let me tell you, basketball, I started watching it when I came to this country. I started watching on TV. We didn't have any team. I used to start watching Michael Jordan and Dr. J, and all the other like Magic and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all those players. And the game seemed to me very interesting because the country I come from, India, we have cricket and soccer and football. So when I came there, when Raptors arrived in 95, I decided to buy 2 tickets. And I said, I'm going to try out this game. I didn't have any other hobby, like I don't fish, I don't go fishing, I don't ski, I don't boat, I don't do all those things. So I used to work 18, 19 hours a day here as a new immigrant. So I decided that I'm going to buy 2 tickets. I could only afford 2 at the time. Now I got 15 tickets, 6 court sides and the rest in the arena. But at that time, I could only afford 2. And you know, the very first game I came, I got addicted to this game. This is and I can say now with authority, this is the best game on planet. Most interesting. You go there for 48 minutes. You are in a different zone. You know, I forget about everything. This is my stress reliever. This is my everything I wanted in an entertainment. So this game gave me all those things as a car dealer. I love being there for 2.5 hours and talk to the ballers. I go before the game for the warm-ups and all that. And I talk a little bit to the players, opposing team coaches and everything. And then when the game starts, I'm all focused on my team, Raptors. And you know what? I want to emphasize the game. This game is the most entertaining game on planet.
Nav, it's your boy Jason the Jet Terry. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I know you are. After 20 years, you guys are finally going to the championship. Hey, congratulations. I want to tell you, man, I just appreciate your dedication and your support, not only for the Raptors, but for all of us. Like you said, your pregame, you're out there on the court, you're high-fiving, you're sharing jokes with us, man. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Let me ask you a question. Now, you know there's another super fan, right? He ain't been around 20 years as long as you, but Drake. Have you ever had have you ever imagined you going up to one of the coaches and giving them a little massage on the sidelines like Drake?
No, I won't do that during the game. But you know what? Drake is Drake. He's our national identity. And he has done so much for the game of basketball, for the city, for the Raptors. And he can do. If the coach doesn't mind it, it's okay. He's not doing to the opposing coach. He's doing to his own coach. And if the coach allows him, it's okay, Jason.
So we all know that Toronto is a melting pot and the team is a reflection of the city. So describe what it feels like for you to be welcomed in to that type of city and that type of environment, the love that Toronto has showed you being the super fan.
Well, I tell you one thing. I was in 1999. I got my first game in 95 from the beginning when the NBA came to Toronto as the Toronto Raptors. But in 98-99 season, Isaiah Thomas, the Hall of Famer, he called me one day and said, now I want you to come to the center. He called me, invited me to the center court, gave me a jersey, purple jersey with dinosaur saying Super Fan 1. And that day I became the face of the Raptors. And still, since then, I've been getting a lot of love from everywhere. And I also want to say something which is very important. When I first started watching basketball in Canada in 95, there were hardly 30 brown people and only one good-looking guy with a turban there. But now, when you come to game, Jason, you see we have 3,500 people who are watching basketball from our community and our season holder there. And you see a lot of good-looking guys with turban also.
No doubt about it. Raptor Mania is going crazy. Tell me, where does Kawhi rank on your list of all-time great Raptors? Damon Stoudemire, Vince Carter, Chris Bosh, DeRozan. Where does Kawhi rank amongst those guys?
Well, as far as the contribution is concerned, not from the game point of view, I would say from the contribution to the city, to the country, bringing us on the map, I still feel Vince Carter is on the top of the list. Because not because what Vince did on the court, that all his dunks and all that, but what he did off the court, like after the season was over, he's the only player I know who would stay there in Toronto for 1 week and bring 600 kids to the camp and spend his energy and love on those kids. And that's the reason we did that in 2001, 2002. We did that while he was here. And that's the reason that this year we had 13 Canadians who were playing in NBA, including Jamal Murray, Tristan Thompson, and all those guys, Wiggins and all those. And I believe that's the thing what Vince has done. So the seed was put in by Vince Carter, and now it's growing on that. Now, if you see from the point of view or reaching to the NBA Finals, it will be said that Kawhi has done it. Kawhi is more known. But I think it's not just Kawhi. It's the team also. It's team, complete team. It's not a one-man sport. If it was the case, LeBron would have won a championship in Cleveland year after year after year. And Nowitzki would have won championship in Dallas year after year after year. So I believe, yes, Kawhi is one of the three most NBA biggest players. But his contribution to the Raptors so far is only this last few months. And so there are two different things.
No doubt about it.
Which are happening here.
Well, you know what? You once sold 127 cars in 90 days. You're just selling us on the Raptors right now. I'm almost convinced that they might win the championship. Nav, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you very much. And go Raptors, go. And I tell you, we are going to get them in 7 series, even though Jason is telling me other stuff. But we are going to win this thing in 7 series. And go Raptors, go. And we the North.
There it is. Now, Golden State Warriors. The Warriors have already won 3 titles and have a chance to secure a 4th. That would place them in rare air amongst the greatest teams ever to play. You see the '60 Celtics, who won 9 championships, the Lakers of the '80s, Showtime, of course, Mike and Scotty with the Bulls, and then Shaq and Kobe in the 2000s. So, Jet Terry, when you look at all these outstanding franchises, what is the pecking order, in your personal opinion, of the greatest teams? And let's just go ahead and assume that Golden State does secure that 4th championship.
Well, Golden State will come in towards the tail end of all those great teams. Maybe put them ahead of the Minneapolis Lakers, right? But the Boston Celtics, come on now. Bill Russell and what he accomplished in that period of time, truly amazing. Then you had the great Lakers of the 80s. That core group stayed together and sustained their excellence almost for a decade. That is incredible.
It is.
Then you look at the Lakers, right? You go delve deep into the Lakers, and you got to look at, they had 2 different eras. Shaq and Kobe, and then just Kobe by himself winning back-to-back titles. But I would put them in the top 4. No doubt about it.
They're in the conversation now. Shaq, of course, who won championships with the Lakers. Steph Curry is his favorite player. Now, it seems like there's some people that have forgot about Steph. I mean, it's not like he's, not a 2-time MVP and the only unanimous MVP. It's not like he needs validation. However, how would it elevate Steph if he was to win Finals MVP?
To me, that is the icing on the cake for Steph. Now, we know Steph just never plays for individual accolades or achievements, but he's been 2-time MVP, perennial All-Star. I just think that Finals MVP, the year they won in 2015, there were 7 votes for Iggy, 4 votes for LeBron, 0 for Steph. Let me tell you Steph's numbers. 26 points in that finals, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds, right? And his team secured the victory, and he was still not named MVP or even given a vote.
Interesting. We got to get him out of here. So I'm stumbling my words on live television. The Warriors 4 wins away from capturing their 4th NBA championship, or the Raptors shock the world and win their 1st. We get Jet Terry's prediction when we conclude Game Time. There's Larry. Your favorite player catch a body? Did you know who get posterized? Take a look. Here's the best dunks of the conference finals, presented by AT&T.
Portland's first points in almost 3.5 minutes. Draymond Green throws it up. Kevon throws it down. What a game!
Putting his teammates in position to be effective.
The score, not able to hit. Oh, got it! The wall put it down. Are you kidding me? Giannis Antetokounmpo. Got us behind him, just let it the steal by Lowry and the exclamation point here.
Ooh, right there. The posters right there. So, Jet, that was awesome, by the way. But what is your prediction for the NBA Finals? We need to know. The people are waiting anxiously.
Well, obviously, it depends on health. But I got the Golden State Warriors in 5. Kawhi Leonard's good to get him 1 game.
1 game, but that's okay. All right. Going to be interesting to see that. By the way, Steph Curry, we've been talking a lot about him on this show. He is 15-2 all-time against the Raptors and averages 28 points a game whenever he plays them. But does KD play? That's going to be what we can't wait to see.
Finals MVP, Steph Curry.
Oh, you're calling it. You're calling your shot.
Gets it done. He's hot right now.
Of course, he's hot, and we're going to stay hot. And the coverage of the finals continues right here on NBA TV. All the pre- and post-game sound, everything. We have you completely covered. Don't ever leave us, but we got to leave you. It's Ro Parrish, Jet Terry. We're out of here.